After 15 long years, Mitchell and Webb have returned with a brand new sketch show called Mitchell and Webb Are Not Helping, and it's not very good. Mitchell and Webb have proven time and time again that they're great comedy writers and a great comedic duo. I don't want to dispute that today. But after binging their new venture, I can't help but feel like a couple things went terribly wrong in the writer's room. Joining Mitchell and Webb in the writer's room, as well as on screen and in silly wigs and makeup, it's Kyle Smith-Bino, Stevie Martin, Crystal Evans and Lara Ricotte. It's easy and honestly a bit dumb to just chop up the lack of funniness to these new additions because Mitchell and Webb are still heavily involved. Whilst I'm sure a lot of people have watched this show and enjoyed every single sketch with no misses, for me it was all in all probably around 90% miss, 10% hit, and that's being kind of generous when I don't think I laughed one time during the final 3 episodes. Let's have a look at sketch comedy. For me, sketch shows have always had a place in comedy. I don't think there's really been a time when people haven't been into them. But the reason this is because the concept of sketch shows, the format, so easily allows itself to stay up to date with the culture of comedy. It's like sitcoms. All it is a format. It's very malleable depending on the current climate or trends or what we as a society find funny. I'm not saying that Mitchell and Webb look was in any way revolutionary. My point is it doesn't need to be. It can easily fit within the current comedic climate. But the issue is a lot of the sketches in Mitchell and Webb Are Not Helping not only feels out of date by today's standards, but even less current than that Mitchell and Webb look. The amount of times a sketch would start and 2 lines in I see exactly where it's going. Not just in terms of the concept, but the comedic beats it's gonna land. For example, in this sketch, 2 producers walk into the office of a Foley artist and list off things that they need him to emulate the sounds of.
A woman running barefoot along a high street pavement.
Yeah, no problem. I can do that with my cock.
After 2 I can use my cocks, surely everyone watching is road mapping the rest of the sketch in their heads. They'll say a couple more things to which he'll reply he can use his cock, and then for the very last sound they need him to emulate, he'll say something normal and they'll say something like, "Oh, you're not going to use your cock," and he'll be disgusted by the assumption. That's the punchline, and it's obvious 90 seconds in. When there's shows like I Think You Should Leave out there giving us sketch after sketch that almost always flips the concept on its head and gives us something we don't expect, this entire show feels like such a step backwards. Obviously, yes, sketches like The Rocket Scientist heavily play on the fact that the audience can see the punchline coming a mile away. Some sketches rely on that and use that aspect to its advantage, but that's not always the case. The fact Mitchell and Webb are so aware of the hit and miss concept in sketch shows and yet take such big swings with some of their recurring sketches is baffling to me. I'm sorry, but sweary Aussie drama is barely a good concept for a one-time 1-minute sketch, and yet each one is like 3 minutes and features in every single episode. And maybe I'm stupid or young, maybe this was a common type of show back in the day, but I'm not really sure what they're even parodying here. I mean, I know of Home and Away and Neighbours, but they don't swear on that. What are they referencing? It's one of those sketches where the joke is understood as soon as it starts. It's a drama where they're Australian and they swear after every word. Is it not painfully clear that the joke is going to wear off after the first sketch is over? Another recurring sketch that gets tired as soon as you understand the concept is Middle-Aged Man Island. It's exactly what you might expect. Fake reality show similar to something like Survivor, but it's 3 middle-aged men around a badly comped in CG fire, and they barely speak, and when they do, it's centered around middle-aged man topics. Another issue with these recurring sketches in this show is there's absolutely no progression in the joke. The post-apocalyptic game show would expand slightly on the lore every sketch to keep things interesting, and Number Wang would get more and more absurd as it would go, and then sketches like Sir Digby and Hennemore had new jokes every sketch, but sweary Aussie drama and Middle-Aged Man Island they're both pretty one note, just carrying on the same joke every time they pop up. Something I noticed when watching this, and I don't want to keep comparing back to that Mitchell and Webb look, but pretty much every single sketch does feel like a pretty standard sketch formula. All short interactions between 2 or 3 or a group of people with a humorous concept and then a punchline at the end. Whereas something I loved about that Mitchell and Webb look was their tendency for some of their sketches to feel more like obscure short films. The petrol-smelling robot or the fake cricket movie, even Flamingos or Sir Digby Chicken Caesar had an element of world building to them. The concept had a much bigger scope back then. But most of the sketches in Mitchell and Webb are not helping, are sort of the standard sketch ideas you'd find in something like Limmy's show back in the day, but way less funny. Like, you know, fake adverts or made-up reality shows, that sort of thing. Again, you know, that isn't a criticism in itself, but I did love the weirder, high-concept sketches from that earlier show. Before we go any further, though, I want to go through the couple of sketches I actually thought were up to the standards I've come to expect from the duo. The airport sketch was released by Channel 4 on their YouTube channel a while back, so it was the first sketch I saw from this show, and I thought it was actually pretty funny. It's a relatable concept. Webb plays the over-the-top, needlessly confrontational role perfectly.
I turned it on now.
On? It can't be on. You're trying to crash the aeroplane.
No.
Off.
Yeah, sorry.
It's the off. Off.
Watching Mitchell crumbling under the pressure is great.
What are you doing?
I'm taking my belt off.
Who told you to strip?
Sorry, sometimes.
Why are you getting undressed in public if you've got a problem?
Sorry.
I do love this sort of concept, and I wish they played more into these relatable situations a lot more. I feel like it's right up David's wheelhouse of writing, social interactions where society has deemed it necessary for you to somehow know exactly what the protocol is, even though it's almost always different. I love that type of thing. The radio guest sketch I love. It's when Mitchell and Webb really get into their weird, dark bag. I think their ideas can be strongest. I've never heard Robert's voice do that before. It's genuinely kind of creepy.
Mountain ranges and austere temples and cities of glass in the desert.
One thing to note, as soon as he said this,
But I think it involves numbers. Many numbers.
I thought maybe this was a sort of explanation for what Number Wang is. This character being the same character as the host, but the rest of what he says doesn't quite relate. I don't know, either I made that up or it's so obvious that that's the case that I'm embarrassing myself or even questioning it. But let me know what you think in the comments about this sketch. I enjoyed Hot Seat. The concept was meh, but Kyle's acting really made me laugh. I thought he emulated the talk to the camera aspect of these reality shows perfectly.
Well, I thought I could probably get pretty close to the end, but ruined it.
Sorry, I know I'm supposed to be talking about the ones I like, but just quickly, Not Helping has 2 fake adverts for board games. And I kind of feel like whoever wrote these ones thought it was the first time it's ever been done, but has this concept not been done a countless number of times throughout the years? And the execution isn't even original. The pirate one, the joke is just that, oh, you actually get hurt in this board game. And isn't the contrast between violence and wholesome family board game adverts so funny? And then the Bran board game, I don't even know what the joke is here. Bran is funny. I mean, it's good for your bowels. Olivia Colman comes back for a sketch, and I did quite like this one. Just the concept of prioritizing steam in these steamy dramas is quite funny. I really loved the sketch where the entire joke is David Mitchell describing scenes from John Wick, but instead of saying killed or dying when describing John Wick killing people, he instead says sadly passes away. Not really, that one was shit. I quite liked the weeping shed. That one was funny sometimes. And the fake show the weird cult in the last sketch made was weird. I quite enjoyed that. I enjoyed how weird it was. That's it. How many was that? 4? 4.5? Look, I get it. Humor's subjective, but, you know, what do you want me to do? Review this show from the perspective of each and every one of you who enjoyed it? I haven't mentioned the writer's room sections yet. Similar to the sit-down in-between shooting conversations from that Mitchell and Webb look, here, every now and then, the team will sit down and talk about how difficult it is to write a sketch show in today's day and age, if you're not Tim Robinson. I don't know, this is where I feel like maybe it's just an age thing. Their conversations about how we're not allowed to make jokes anymore feels quite embarrassing, and whether they're making actual commentary on woke culture, or satirizing the disdain for woke culture, or satirizing the satirical approach taken by some to satirize the satirical nature of satire when relating to the satirical nature of woke culture. I'd really rather them just write some fucking sketches instead. But yeah, overall I didn't really like this show. Maybe it's just my perspective. Maybe they don't align with the goals Mitchell and Webb had for this show. Maybe I completely misunderstood what they were going for, as well as the punchline in every sketch. But I will say the production was very solid. One thing I praised their last sketch show for was the ability to make each sketch look and feel distinct through the filmography. And maybe if they're given a second series and they make the writing better, it can be a show that lives up to their previous material. But yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on this show. Didn't love it, wasn't great. But yeah, I just wanted to get this one out fairly quick. Let me know your opinions on this one. I'm genuinely curious. More Peep Show stuff and other stuff coming out soon. Oh, give my Froobs documentary a watch if you haven't, because I think it's pretty good. But nobody's watching it. I mean, why would they? It's a fucking Froob documentary. Anyway, see you later. Love you. Mwah.